north here. It's a gamble. When that storm approaches, ooh, it's gonna turn nasty. Nowhere to hide, nobody to save you. It's coming.
For over a decade, the Cornelia Marie wasn't just another boat on Deadliest Catch. She was a legend, a symbol of grit, glory, and survival on the unforgiving Bering Sea. At her helm stood the larger-than-life Captain Phil Harris, whose story gripped millions. But in 2022, everything shattered. A decades-old secret exploded into the public eye, sending shockwaves through the fleet. Within days, Discovery erased the Cornelia Marie from its shows, wiping entire seasons from streaming. Fans were left, stunned, demanding answers. This is the real reason the Cornelia Marie vanished from Deadliest Catch. And it's darker than anyone imagined. The Cornelia Marie was built in 1989 at Horton Boats in the small shipbuilding town of Beulah, Alabama. Generations of craftsmen there had launched countless vessels over the years. But this build was special. It was the final large-scale project overseen by legendary shipbuilder Elmo Horton. Measuring 128 feet in length with a 28-foot beam and a draft of just over 11 feet, she was a heavy, wide, and unshakable fighter against the seas. Equipped with twin Cummins QSK-19N diesel engines, delivering 750 horsepower each, the Cornelia Marie could hit speeds up to 14.5 knots, fast for a crab boat of her size. With 500 gallons of fuel and 3,000 gallons of fresh water, she could stay at sea for weeks without touching land. Her name wasn't plucked from maritime myths or famous storms. She was named after Cornelia Marie Collins, wife of the man who commissioned her, Ralph Collins. It was a tribute to a partner who stood beside her husband in business. Even after their marriage ended, the name remained on the hull, painted in a striking aquamarine with crisp white trim and bold yellow banners. She was impossible to miss. Whether docked in Kodiak, waiting out weather in Dutch Harbor, or powering through the open sea. From the start, the Cornelia Marie was built to take on the Bering Sea's most brutal challenges. She hunted king crab, apilio crab, salmon, and herring, enduring storms that crushed weaker vessels. Her endurance was unmatched. In the deadly winter of 2005, when the Big Valley sank, the Cornelia Marie joined the desperate search for survivors. Only one man was rescued alive, but that mission carved her name deeper into the legend of the fleet. It was in the early 1990s that Phil Harris came aboard. A fisherman since the age of 8, he had dropped out of high school at 17 in pursuit of the lucrative crab fishing industry. By 21, he was captain of his own vessel, battling debt and skepticism from older skippers. Phil was tough, sharp-tongued, and fiercely loyal to his crew, never asking them to do anything he wouldn't do himself. By 1998, he had taken the helm of the Cornelia Marie, expanding her length by 22 feet and increasing her capacity by 100,000 pounds. In 2005, Deadliest Catch came calling. Out of more than 250 boats, the Cornelia Marie was chosen as one of just 4 to be fully featured in Season 2. Phil was hesitant about cameras on deck, but new fishing quota rules meant slower seasons, making filming more manageable. Viewers quickly fell in love with Phil's leadership style, his sharp humor, and the way he pushed his sons Josh Harris and Jake Harris to prove themselves. Moments between father and sons often brought raw emotion to the screen, with Phil refusing to give them special treatment. His one-liners became part of his legend, like, "I feel like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest." Behind the humor, Phil's health was deteriorating. Years of smoking, caffeine, and relentless stress took their toll. In 2008, he suffered a pulmonary aneurysm at sea. Then, in January 2010, disaster struck. While offloading crab, Phil collapsed. From a massive stroke, the crew acted quickly, medics rushed in, and he was flown from St. Paul Island to Anchorage. For a moment, it seemed like he might recover, but a sudden brain bleed ended all hope. On February 9, 2010, Phil Harris passed away when Deadliest Catch aired his final episode. Over 5.4 million viewers tuned in, many in tears. After Phil's death, Josh and Jake Harris fought to keep the Cornelia Marie in the family. But without full ownership and with massive repair bills, securing loans proved impossible. Interim Captain Derek Ray, a friend of Phil's, stepped in, but his strict style clashed with the grieving brothers, especially Jake, whose struggle with addiction was spiraling. In 2015, Josh partnered with childhood friend Casey McManus to raise funds, buying part of the vessel and overhauling her engines. Together, they brought the Cornelia Marie back to Deadliest Catch, while the Cornelia Marie fought to stay afloat. In the competitive and often brutal world of Alaskan crab fishing, Jake Harris's personal life was sinking fast. His struggles with addiction, which had surfaced even before his father Phil Harris's death, spiraled out of control in the public eye. Arrests piled up, DUI charges, drug possession, theft, and eventually heroin distribution. The headlines painted a tragic picture of a man unable to escape his demons. Multiple stints in prison followed, each one pushing him further away from the boat and the legacy he had once shared with his family. In 2024, things reached a breaking point. Jake Harris led police on a high-speed chase that ended in his arrest and an 18-month prison sentence. It was the latest chapter in a long, painful decline. By then, Jake was completely estranged from his brother Josh Harris and had vanished entirely from the Cornelia Marie's deck. Meanwhile, Josh was forging his own path. In 2020, he launched Deadliest Catch, Bloodline, a spin-off inspired by an extraordinary discovery in Phil Harris's old stateroom, a collection of 60 fishing charts. Among them were several maps of Hawaii, marked with strange notes and fishing coordinates. Determined to follow his father's trail, Josh teamed up with Casey McManus and seasoned local fisherman Jeff Silva. Together, they ventured into the rich Hawaiian waters, targeting high-value species like ahi tuna that could fetch thousands of dollars each. The series blended fishing with a personal quest, as Josh and his crew attempted to uncover pieces of Phil's hidden past. For fans, it was a fresh adventure. The icy, stormy Bering Sea replaced with Hawaii's sunlit waves. But behind the scenes, the dynamics aboard the Cornelia Marie were shifting. As seasons passed, viewers began to notice that Casey was taking on more and more of the leadership role. He made operational decisions, handled the technical challenges, and kept the boat running, while Josh's presence seemed to diminish. Then came the scandal that would sink everything. In August 2022, a decades-old court case resurfaced and sent shockwaves through the Deadliest Catch community. It revealed that in 1998, at just 15 years old, Josh Harris had sexually assaulted a 4-year-old girl. Due to DNA processing delays, charges were not filed until the following year. In 1999, Josh pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, serving 9 months in juvenile detention and completing 2 years of treatment. For more than 2 decades, this dark chapter remained hidden from the public. When the truth finally emerged, the fallout was immediate and devastating. Discovery acted without hesitation. Josh was removed from the show, and episodes of Deadliest Catch and Deadliest Catch, Bloodline featuring him, were pulled from streaming platforms. Fans reacted with a mix of shock, anger, and disbelief. Some praised the network for its swift and decisive action, while others lamented the loss of the Cornelia Marie from their screens. Unfortunately, the damage didn't stop with Josh. Casey McManus, though completely uninvolved in the crime, also lost his position when the network severed ties with both captains. For many fans, it felt like a double blow. Not only had they lost a major figure in the fleet, but an innocent captain had been swept up in the scandal as well. In June 2024, the Cornelia Marie began a new chapter. A group of investors led by Taylor Jensen purchased the vessel. The team included Roger Thomas, Kerry Toya, and newly appointed Captain Jake Albanino. For decades, the Cornelia Marie had been more than just a crab boat. She was a symbol of resilience in the face of brutal storms, of family bonds tested and sometimes broken, and of the highs and lows that come with living life on the edge of the world. She had survived natural disasters, internal mutiny, heartbreaking losses, and public scandal. Her steel hull had endured pounding waves and bitter cold, but it had also borne witness to moments of victory, camaraderie, and pride. Now, under new leadership, the Cornelia Marie faces an uncertain but hopeful future. Whether she will ever reclaim her former glory remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, her story is far from over. As long as she sails, she carries with her the weight of her past and the promise of what's still to come. What's your take? Can the Cornelia Marie reclaim her legendary status? Or is her best chapter behind her? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and share this story with fellow fans. Thanks for watching.